Good afternoon, everyone. This is an update on the tropics for September 16th, 2022. This is specifically an update for Tropical Storm Fiona as we get more details on the path and the impacts here for portions of the Caribbean. So let's get right into it here. Here is the satellite imagery we're currently looking at for the Atlantic, and we still do have Tropical Storm Fiona that is now approaching the Virgin Islands. It is approaching St. John's Islands as well, bringing flooding and tropical storm winds, and this will also bring some mudslides to portions of Puerto Rico as well as Dominican Republic. So that's definitely a concern there for those types of impacts. We're still not quite sure if this will head northward or westward into the Gulf. Right now, it's looking likely to go to a northward turn into the Atlantic, possibly bringing impacts to the East Coast later on in its lifetime. Let's go and look at the National Hurricane Center to get the latest details. Here's the National Hurricane Center 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook. As you can see, there is Tropical Storm Fiona down there. It has 50-mile-per-hour winds with a minimum center pressure of 1,005 millibars, located at about 16.2 north, 60.3 west, and movement is west at 14 miles per hour. This is now going through the Virgin Islands as we speak, with those tropical storm force winds and flooding possibilities. As you can see, we also have two disturbances, which is not a concern right now, but it does have a chance of development in the middle of the Atlantic later on in September that you might have to monitor. But right now we are going to focus on Tropical Storm Fiona, as that's one of the main concerns here for tropical storm and possibly even hurricane impacts. Here's the forecast cone for Tropical Storm Fiona, and as you can see, we do have tropical storm warnings. Here's the forecast cone for Tropical Storm Fiona. We do have tropical storm warnings out right now in the blue, and that's including Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, as well as St. John's is in that tropical storm warning. We have a tropical storm watch out here for, again, portions of the Lesser Antilles. We do have tropical storm watches out right now for the Dominican Republic. However, when this does get closer to the Dominican Republic, that is going to increase into a tropical storm warning there. And as it heads to the Dominican Republic, eventually heading through the Turks and Caicos, a very close approach, that is expected to become a Category 1 hurricane by around 8 a.m. Wednesday, and that'll be just east or southeast of the Bahamas around 8 a.m. Wednesday. Again, this forecast could very well change within the upcoming days. There's that forecast track line. As you can see, it heads through to the majority of these areas. So far, we're confident that this is going to be headed right near Puerto Rico, heading into the Dominican Republic as a landfall, then eventually heading right near the Turks and Caicos. We're not sure where it's going to go after the fact it heads to the Dominican Republic, but we will keep you updated as we get more details into the early week of next week. Here is the spaghetti models from the Euro ensemble here, and as you can see, it pretty much is the same track as the National Hurricane Center model. This does have a much more western track and actually makes landfall through the Turks and Caicos. According to this ensemble here, we do have a few that are heading into portions of Cuba, possibly even heading into the Gulf later on. But as you can see, the majority of these stronger ensembles here do have it heading northward into the portions of the Atlantic. Again, that main black line is the main focus of a lot of these models, of where they're focused onto, and that's where it is expected to go as of right now, according to the Euro model. But we can also look at the GFS model, which does have a similar track here. It has a much more future track, as you can see there. And this does go through pretty much the National Hurricane Center forecast track, but then heads straight northward, and the majority of these models do head northward, leaving pretty much no impact towards the East Coast. With those tropical storm force winds, you may see high waves and rip current risks, but so far, as you can see, the GFS model currently does not have any threat to the East Coast. Taking a current look here at the satellite imagery for Tropical Storm Fiona, we do have the Virgin Islands just over here. You can see a lot of these Lesser Antilles Islands There's Barbados way down here, as you can see at the very bottom of your screen. You have a lot of convection right now, with pretty much kind of the northeastern side. The center is right around over here, so we have more of the convection on the kind of southeastern and northeastern sides here. We do have a decent amount of lightning really spiking up with the northern side. As you can see, a lot of the explosive convection happening, that eventually wrapping around the whole system, protecting it from any dry air that it does encounter, and any possible shear, which shear right now could definitely take a hold of it pretty easily, the way it's going right now. And looking at the shear values, as you can see, the majority of the shear is up north, but it is going to be heading northwest. So a lot of these red contours, as you can see, that is unfavorable shear. That's where it's going to be headed. As you can see, heading through Puerto Rico, it is going to be headed through a little bit of shear there, around 30 knots of shear. That is definitely a decent amount to keep it down below a hurricane level. It's not going to fully diminish it or anything, but it is going to keep it down below a hurricane level as it goes through the Caribbean, which is good because it's going to keep it down there as it heads through the Caribbean, and then eventually when it makes that northern turn, it's going to be headed into favorable wind shear in the middle of the Atlantic. That's when it's going to be developing into a hurricane. So thankfully, again, those Lesser Antilles, the Virgin Islands, Turks and Caicos, and the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, will be mainly seeing tropical storm impacts. Now the Turks and Caicos and Bahamas need to keep an eye on this for possible hurricane, because again, paths can change, and we need to continue to monitor this very closely, again, for the more northern portion of the Caribbean. We're going to look at one more thing here. This is a CMC model, and the CMC model has had a confident track that this will go into the Gulf. Now, today's run is very interesting. It really changed his mind on this. There is Tropical Storm Fiona here currently. Let's go ahead and move this forward. As you can see, has much more western movement and heads right through the Turks and Caicos, and then makes a really close approach to the Bahamas. As you can see, it makes that northern turn. It really changed its mind overnight. Yesterday it had it going to the Gulf. Today it has it going northward. So that is a major mind information change to this model, which it again had that very confident move that it really heads towards the Gulf and becomes a hurricane. But again, looks like it's gonna be headed north. It's likely to head north here, even though we have still some models that do head into the Gulf. I think this is going to be a very confident track. This is going to be headed north. We just don't know how close it's going to make it to the Bahamas as of right now. So we will continue to give you update on that as we get closer and closer to more of the northern portions of the Caribbean. But if you did enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want more information. I will keep you updated in the community post, and I will post an actual graphic from the National Hurricane Center today after this video is posted in both English and Spanish. So make sure to check that out. Share this video with any friends or family, like the video, and all that stuff. We do have super thanks and the join button down below if you do want to support the channel even more. But as always, I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe.